What is going on? Hello, good day, tip of the cap. Welcome to Hot Garbage Earth, volume 7006. Everything is stupid. Today's episode is entitled The Left Side of History. This is episode 8 here on the Bobby Sauce Show. Everything is stupid. If you're watching today, we are live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Rumble, TikTok, and Instagram. So big shout out to Rumble for featuring us on the homepage or somewhere today. Appreciate that. Anybody that doesn't use Rumble, I don't know what you're doing, Jim. They're helping out for free speech. So we love everybody over at Rumble. If this is your first time here, make sure that you check out bobbysauceshow.com and make sure you leave a review. I'm on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the places that podcasts are listened to. Everything's dumb. The world's on fire, and I'm here just doing my civic duty to play the trumpet while the Titanic literally smashes into the literal berg, the iceberg, as it were. Everything's dumb, and the world is actually stupid. Before we get going, as I said, bobbysauceshow.com. Make sure you leave a review for the pod. I would appreciate that. If you like the shirt, this is the America First shirt. It's available on bobbysauce.com. That's how we support the channel. So check me out, bobbysauce.com. Go there, grab a shirt, grab a hat, grab some merch. Tell me I'm dumb. Write me an email. Tell me that I tickled your grundle the wrong way. You hate me, whatever you want. Perhaps today some trolls will come into the Instagram stream. Maybe 5,000 people will come into the Instagram stream and squeal and squirm and yell about how they hate themselves because they just ran out of anxiety meds. That would be typical. That would be typical. No surprises there. The world is dumb. Everyone's sad inside. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is just like how insane the literal world is. Look, never in all of my days did I think that I would see people shilling for the establishment and towing the establishment line. It's one of the most outlandish things I've ever seen. Can you imagine a world where people are lining up begging to be controlled? They're like, yeah, I want to regurgitate the establishment line. I want to make sure that I repeat every single thing that they say through corporate media. I want to be on the exact same side as Barbara Streisand and Hillary Clinton and Billie Eilish. I'm on the same side politically as Billie Eilish, everybody. I'm on the same side as Madonna, who literally said out of her literal face hole, she vombletinied out of her actual allegedly human face hole, that she thought about blowing up the White House, which is totally fine. As long as you're a leftist, it doesn't matter what you say. You know, tradish, everything's stupid. But who cares about that? You know what I mean? Okay. And then Johnny Depp, even though I'm a kind of a fan of Johnny Depp, I guess, he's just like, when was the last time an actor assassinated? No, Johnny. You married a person that pooped on your bed. It's like, I appreciate you, and I agree that you got bamboozled. But who says stuff like that? You lost my respect. So what absolutely blows my mind is, like, and I made a post about this today, is that could you have imagined a world where people line up to toe the establishment line? It's like, could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by regurgitating what you see on CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, every single newspaper magazine, the Washington Post that's owned by your supposed archenemy Jeff Bezos? Could you imagine towing the establishment line and repeating ad nauseum the exact same messaging that's delivered to you from the White House, from all the other talking heads that have been caught in lie after lie? Could you imagine being on the same side politically as the pharmaceutical establishment? Could you imagine being on the same side politically as all of the companies that have been feeding you and your children poison? Could you imagine being on the same side of all the pharmaceutical companies that have been filling up children with anti-anxiety medications and profiting tens of billions, hundreds of billions, probably trillions of dollars at the expense of human life? all around the world. Could you imagine being on the same side politically of all of the establishment shills? Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by agreeing with a person that's been in politics for 40 some odd years? Could you imagine being on the same side of history as a person like that? And you somehow think that you're some rebel you're fighting the resistance, you're fighting the establishment. You will literally say out of one corner of your dirt star that the establishment system is right from the bottom, from the top to the bottom, left, right, inside out, and upside down, and it's corrupt and it's this and that. But then you want to give them more power, give them more rights, give them more taxes, give them more authority over your life, fire anybody that doesn't willfully follow their dictate, live in a biomedical state, take away your ability to speech from people that you disagree with, take away the ability for you to self-preserve and protect yourself, take away the police departments from the inner cities that need the police departments the most, stand up for supposedly black lives while you simultaneously create so much more harm and damage for that community that you purport to protect. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by doing that? Because that's what these people are doing. They're lining up in the streets and marching down the streets, begging to be controlled. They're like, yes, daddy government, please take more of my freedoms away. Please take more of my rights away. And you actually think you're on the right side of the history by saying, tax my other fellow citizens. The rich people are evil. As I use my iPhone, as I use Microsoft Word, as I use my Apple iPad, as I go shop at Starbucks, as I use my Google, Android, Samsung device, as I broadcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, every single establishment, as I use the internet through AT&T, Verizon, as I drive in my foreign-made vehicle that was made by a large corporation, as I charge my Tesla on the electrical grid that's powered 50 some odd percent by coal. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by doing all that and thinking that you're somehow anti-establishment, you're somehow some rebel, you're somehow the resistance because you unanimously agree with almost every single thing that they do? Could you imagine being on that side of the argument? Could you imagine thinking that people want to limit people's ability to vote? You're limiting their voting rights by asking for people to properly identify themselves so we can verify who they are. Can you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history to know that a single human person can go to every voting booth within a 50-mile radius or a 500-mile radius and vote 700 times without an ID in your state? And now that early voting is open for 2 odd weeks, a single person could go to 50 voting booths in their immediate jurisdiction, and then they could go to every other one every single day throughout all the 30 days of early voting. And if nobody ever checks an ID, you could be John Smith and G. Willikers and Tommy Bahama and Upside Down Jelly Bean. You could be whatever you want, and you could vote 700 times. But somehow you think that you're on the right side of history because you think it's limiting voting rights by saying there's 500 days of voting. You could vote from 3 a.m. till 5 p.m. You could vote 24 hours a day. You could vote upside down. You could send it through the mail. You could go to a nursing home with a person that could barely get applesauce down their throat, and you could have some jabron be like, do you agree, Grandma? Vote for Joey Basement. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, that you agree with that disposition to the world? What planet are you currently residing on, Jim? Because I'm like Donde Está, because I'm here on the Earth's crust. I'm currently present on the crust of the earth, on the spinning blue mysterious ball here on the earth, but whatever. Glad that you're so virtuous. My bad. Didn't realize that you were on the right side of history. More like the left side of history, jabroni, but whatever. Can you imagine? Can you imagine knowing that millions of people have been pouring over our southern border? Literally, millions, literally millions of human persons have been pouring over the southern border, walking over the border, literally drowning in the Rio Grande, getting tossed over a fence, of which there's video. Fox 5 showing a thermal image of 500 single 30-year-old men walking across the border with absolutely no obstruction. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, agreeing that that's a good idea, while those people that you don't know their name, where they came from, you don't know their history, you don't know if they just got let out of prison, you don't know if they committed 5 capital murders 15 minutes ago in Venezuela, you don't know anything about them. They got no papers because they threw them on the ground before they crossed the Rio Grande in broad daylight, by the way. And we don't know who they are, but that person should come into your jurisdiction and vote without an ID and vote not being a citizen and get all of the public services while the rest of American citizens, including veterans and everybody else in between, suffers. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by believing that? And an illegal immigrant is going to come into the United States. Do you think that they're going to vote for a Republican? Do you think that an immigrant is going to come to the United States that doesn't even speak English, and some jabron at the thing is going to say, "Do you want free money, free college, free housing, free everything? Tax the billionaires, and by the way, look at all the Democrats that voted for you to be able to breaststroke over the Rio Grande into your land of freedom when you really just came here." When you really just came here from Mexico for prosperity purposes, you're not escaping any asylum. There's probably a packet that all the coyotes hand out before they abuse all the people that they bring over. And they're probably like, say this, throw your papers out, say you're from Venezuela, say you're escaping such and such, and you're looking for asylum, and they'll let you in, no problem. They'll ship you to New York City. Where Eric will be like, come on in, drink the water, it's healthy. And then 5 days later, you get sepsis. But whatever. Who cares about that? Who cares about things that actually happen? But who cares? You know what I mean? Whatever. Imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, agreeing with all of those things. And then meanwhile, your influencers, your establishment pushing Jabron James, literally Jabron James, page 3 of the book, didn't make it past page 3, literally perpetual world of Jabron James. You have your social media stars on the virtuous left being like, good, they're going to arrest Ron DeSantis. Look, they're conducting a criminal investigation. They're going to conduct a criminal investigation to figure out whether or not Ron DeSantis committed a crime by sending illegal immigrants that already committed a crime. Oh, maybe they came here for asylum. Sure they did, but whatever. He committed a crime. You honestly think that Ron DeSantis, Yale graduate lawyer, legal scholar, running the best state in America, would be stupid enough to not look into the legality of sending these people there? How dumb do these people think that Ron DeSantis is? How dumb do they think that everyone is? These people are so clueless. They think that Donnie is playing golf in Bedminster while a nuclear secret is scattered on the carpet at his crib in Florida, while these people have been there every day looking for him. They think that he's that dumb, that he's just like, let me just leave this nuclear secret on the carpet. Okay. They're so stupid that they think Ron DeSantis is so stupid that he can't figure out that he's not committing a crime objectively. And some jabroni cop in some who cares jurisdiction in Texas is on TV like, you know what? I can't figure out if he committed a crime. I can't tell if what he did was wrong, but I can't tell if what he did was illegal, but it is wrong. And therefore, I'm going to investigate it. Meanwhile, don't worry, guys. Officer Doofus is on the case. Some jabron that just wants some TV time is on the case. This jabroni police officer in Texas outsmarted Ron DeSantis, outsmarted the governor of the third largest state in America and the most powerful country that the world has ever known. Some jabroni in Texas outsmarted DeSanta Claus coming down all of the chimneys with all of the gifts for all the Floridians. But whatever. I'm sure that this dweeb outsmarted DeSanta Claus. I'm sure that he didn't figure that out. Like, oh no, you think DeSanta Claus is sitting at his crib just like, oh no, Officer Doofus figured me out. Oh no, I committed a crime. He lured them. The guy says that. He's like, he lured them into staying at a hotel. Have you ever been to Venezuela, bro? This dude was eating a dog yesterday. And they're like, he lured them into a 5-star hotel. It's like, and flew him to Martha's Vineyard. Like, he lured him in. That guy, this allegedly human, supposedly intellectual person, Officer Doofus in Texas, was like, he lured them. Like DeSanta Claus had like a lamb shank on like a fishing pole that he just like lured these migrants in. Do you think these migrants are so stupid that they can't figure out how to sign a document? They can't figure out how to be like, hey, here's where you're going. Here's a free meal. Here's a free hotel. We're going to send you the most expensive jurisdiction. And then they have the news reporters that are in Martha's Vineyard that are like, yeah, they're happy that they sent him here. And he's like, investigation. It's like 53 people died in the back in a tractor trailer truck in your own county, in your own jurisdiction. Did you do any research into that, Officer Doofus? Or do you just want some television time? You literal jabron. Can you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by being on the same side as that guy? Got it. You, Madonna, Billie Eilish, your upside down friend, the person that doesn't pay attention, the person that's 50 pills deep in their anxiety meds, that knows that thinks that mercury's in Gatorade and they're charging their heart chakra with the crystal that's actually that's actually like a rock that somebody found in the ocean that got sold to them for $250 at the local woke store. Got it. Yep, you're on the same side of history as Madonna. Got it. Wasn't sure. Didn't realize how much political research Olivia Rodrigo was doing. Didn't realize Olivia Rodrigo was well-versed in world affairs. Didn't realize Billie Eilish was so well-versed in global affairs. Didn't realize Cardi A was so well-versed in global affairs that you guys are on the same side of the argument. You're on the same side of the argument as Cardi B. Got it. Wasn't sure. You're on the same side of the argument as Megan the Horse. It's Megan the Horse, Chelsea Clinton, and Hill Dog. All painting. Look, they're painting on canvas. Look, guys, these guys are the political betters. They're so much better than us. Look, it's Megan the Horse. She's so brave. She's like, wop, 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 wop. Look at my clam. Look at my clam. Clam, clam, clam. Got rich. I got rich objectifying myself so that the white dudes that signed the contract that made all the money, but I'm virtuous. I'm so bad. I'm so gutsy. Got it. Got it. Don't worry, guys. You're on the same side of the political aisle as Megan the Horse. Congrats. Didn't realize we all missed that one. Didn't realize the horse was on point. My bad. Could have fooled me. Meanwhile, could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, thinking that any theoretical pointing out of what Hunter Parmesan, snort the Parmesan, smoke the carpet, spit paint through a straw for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history by being on the same side of the aisle as Hunter Biden? Could you imagine thinking that pointing out that Hunter Biden objectively committed crimes like lying on a federal document to obtain a firearm, which is shown in videos of him with prostitutes, allegedly, maybe it's not, maybe it was made up, maybe Putin himself made it he made it in his computer, maybe they just made it up, his signature, the video evidence, his every single image of every single thing, every email, every text message, every single possible imaginable witness on the planet of Earth, while he literally, objectively, in video, on video, 100 times broke the law. He's got a firearm while he's naked. Some girl's giving him a foot jizzler, and this guy's sitting there like lightheartedly committed the crime, drove down the street, threw it into a dumpster, objectively committed a federal crime. And they're like, Don Jr.'s addicted to that snow. It's like, don't you think that they would have arrested Don Jr. 650 times upside down if they could have actually pitted a crime on him? Whereas Hunter Parmesan spit paint through a straw for $100,000 a painting while he sells it to Xi, or allegedly didn't, whatever, maybe he didn't. These are jokes. Okay, fact check. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of the history for that. Imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history because you agree with Joe Biden, a guy who's been in office for 40 some odd years, that was the vice president of the United States for 8 years, and you think the system is so corrupt from the ground up and it can never be fixed. He's going to fix it from the bottom up and the middle out. What the fudge does that even mean? Don't worry, guys. He's going to fix it from the bottom up, the middle out. There's only one word for America. It's the foothills of the Himalayas. I spent 700 hours on a train with President Xi. Sure you did. It's like, could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, agreeing with this dude? Could you imagine? Yet these exact same people, they think they're on the right side of history, and it's like, okay, got it. Didn't really understand that, because this is the brilliant genius level of marketing that's conducted by the virtuous left and the Joey Basement complicit Joey Basement administration. Joe Byron, literal Joe Byron, 10% to the big guy, Peter Henderson. What did you do in that shower with your daughter? Allegedly, don't even know. I don't even know. Just a shower. She was 15, whatever. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. Didn't say that. Not a fact check. These are jokes. Could you imagine? Because Joe Byron Sons of Pharm Fiend, Paint Through a Straw, is literally going to come on 60 Minutes and they're going to say, if China attacked Taiwan, would the United States, aka would your sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, would our 18-year-old able-bodied American citizens go and defend Taiwan, which is against the United States clearly outlined policy? And he goes, yes. And then 5 minutes after the interview ends, the administration's gonna come out before they even air the interview, and they're gonna say, no, we're actually not gonna do that. This is the brilliance of marketing of the left and of the Joey Basement complicit establishment administration. The president of the United States, out of his face hole, will say, we're going to do this. And then his supposed nameless, anonymous person in his administration is going to come out and say, no, we're not. Well, you got a video of him saying you would, and then you got the administration saying he won't. So which one is it? Here's the answer. It's neither. It's neither, because they can lie to you and tell you what's going to happen while also simultaneously covering the tracks and say no, that it won't. We won't protect Taiwan, but we will protect Taiwan. So now they have no accountability to either. Yet this jabroni sitting with his legs crossed across from Joe Byron on CBS, the objective journalist in the room, hey, Joe, what does it feel like being braver than us, smarter than us, younger than us, better than us? How does it feel, Joe? While he gives him a foot J underneath the table. These people are not journalists. These people are bought and paid for shills. And they know that if they speak out of turn, they get clapped. They lose their job. These dudes are all living scared. They're all shaken. They're like, if you can't beat them, join them. They don't care about the country. That dude's not a journalist. He's a partisan hack. He's regurgitating exactly what they tell him to regurgitate. You want the interview? You want the interview guy? Here's what you're going to ask. And if he says something that might be questionable, it's going to get cut. Don't you try to be an activist here, guy. Don't try to be an actual journalist here, guy. You like your job? You like your pension? Well, you better spit out what we say or you're going to be ruined. All right? Cool. Glad you agree. Have a great day. Have a great interview. Go journalism. Go do some journalism, guy. Great. And people are actually think they're on the right side of history by agreeing with this dude. Hi, Joe. How does it feel to be better than us? And in the interview, what every single person knows, he's like, let's make everybody feel bad for Joe. Joe lost his wife in an accident 40 years ago and his daughter, and Joe's son Bo died in 2015. Yeah, we all know that. Everybody knows that. He says it in every single speech. It's more than available online. The guy's been the president for 2 years. We know that story. Why are they telling us that story? Why are they trying to humanize Joe and make us feel bad for Joe? To sell whatever he says. And then they'll say, hey, Joe. They'll be walking through the Detroit Auto Show and they'll say, and he goes, hey, Joe, is the clamdemic over? And he says, yeah, it's over. And then the White House, then the Surgeon General will come out the next day and say, no, it's not. It's perfect. And all of these useful idiots that think they're on the right side of history, that think they're so much smarter and so much more virtuous than us, that are ready to vote for John Fetterbean because he's made of steel and he lives inside a steel mill. He's 50% steel. He's got a lump on his neck. They're just like, yeah, Fetterbean. It's like they will sit there and say, this is totally no problem because Joe said it and then the other guy says it's not. So which one is it? It's neither. And everybody's so dumb and they hold no one accountable, so it just doesn't matter because every single person that believes every single thing that they spoon-feed it to their dirt star while they're bent over on their knees grabbing their ankles being like, Colin Kaepernick's so brave. He sacrificed everything. He was a third-string QB that was past his prime, but he sacrificed everything. Good job, Cap, as he made millions and millions of dollars by pretending that he got canceled from the NFL for any reason other than he sucked. And you're at your job, guy. Protest on your own. You're going to protest while you're at work? That's not how work works. But whatever. Wouldn't expect anybody to know that. Who cares? Who cares about that, Because here's what I've figured out. The right, and whether you like it or not, The right, generally speaking, talks about policy, and the left, generally speaking, talks about people. The right says, these are the policies that are creating these bad situations. The border, fentanyl, overdose deaths, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Kicking out members of the military because they're not following your medical decrees. Where people on the left will be like, Donnie is a bad orange man. Donnie is an upside down bad man. Donnie, people. Matt Gaetz is goofy. This guy is this. Ted Cruz goes to Cancun. It's like, yeah, not a fan of Ted Cruz. Not a huge fan of Kinzinger. Not a huge fan of Crenshaw. Not a fan of all these people on the right that send all of our money to Ukraine. I'm with you on that. But the right talks about policies and the left talks about people. When's the last time you heard a policy and then the follow through and execution of that policy correlated with somebody that is on the left? All they ever talk about is what's going to happen. All they ever talk about is what is about to happen. They just passed the bag of rice bill, and the bill's full of trash. It's rice. It says right in the bill, full of rice. It's a bag of rice. The left talks about people, the right talks about policy. And unfortunately for us, we're dealing with so many people that are low IQ and don't pay attention, sat inside and have a belly full of pharmaceutical products that they can't seem to figure this out. You think the exact same institutions that are feeding us high fructose corn syrup and loading us up with pills and telling us that the solution to every single problem on every single television channel is for you to go out and get some medicine, for you to buy your way to healthy sleep, for you to buy your way to more vitamin D, for you to buy your way to a healthier gut health, for you to buy your way to this. They're going to listen to Joe Byron say that he's going to cure cancer. Joe Biden said out of his actual face hole, he vomited out, we're going to end cancer once and for all. This dude can't figure out how to get a bill passed anywhere without getting 100% Democratic support, but he's going to figure out how to cure cancer. Got it. This dude can't figure out how to walk the correct direction when he gets off an airplane. This dude can't figure out how to say a word at the end of a sentence. American can be defined by a single word. Pop, 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 Himalayan mountains. What are you doing, dude? United States of Camaro, for Christ's sake. Because, again, for the 5,000th time, the only thing that they care about is demonizing and vilifying the people that represent an ideology or ideas that are different than their own. That's the only thing that they care about. They can't say, here's a great policy, here's evidence of it working, here's what happens as a result. Yet there's all of this evidence around the world, around the United States, of policies gone wrong. There is no way that any rational person can look at the border, just the singular example of the border, take Donnie out of the equation, take the bad orange man, his tweets are mean, take him out of the equation and say, how many people crossed the border when Donnie was in office? How many people are crossing the border now? Do you think that having a wall is a good idea or not? And if you can't even see eye to eye on that, we're not dealing with rational people. And the argument that I love hearing from people that think that they're so much more virtuous and better than you is, I think the border should be open. Anybody should just be able to walk in. They're people too. Sorry, but if Venezuela, and came out yesterday or today or whatever, and I haven't personally verified this information, but this is what I just saw yesterday, that apparently Venezuela is releasing its prisoners to just walk over the border. If you don't know who they are or where they came, and there's no test to validate whether or not they even care about this country, and you let a criminal over the border that just committed a murder or some type of illicit act in another country, this person deserves to walk over the border? We're all equal? Sorry, but if you murder somebody, you're an animal. I don't care. You're an animal, dude. You commit these horrible acts, all these things that they're doing, it's terrible. But no, they don't care about that. Nobody cares about what actually happens. All they care about is getting their good boy points. And I love all these dudes that look like me that will get up there and shill for the Lives Matter organization, or will try to get their good boy social points by saying that it's our responsibility for all this stuff. I was born in 1987. I didn't do that. You don't know anybody that did that. You don't know anybody ever that ever did that. You're going to hold me and every other person that looks like me responsible? What are you doing? They're just trying to go and get their good boy points as they get awarded online for saying the right things to play into the algorithm so that they can say the right thing. Good job, guys. You're such a useless mouthpiece of the establishment. People don't even understand. It's like people out here, when I say anything that they even slightly disagree with, they'll be like, you're shilling for Donnie. You're shilling. It's like, bro, I'm looking beyond the right and the left. I just understand that we have to participate in this particular system, which is objectively one of the best political systems that exists in the entire world, whether you like it or not. I used to be like, why is it only two parties? There's other countries that have more than two parties, and they suck, aka Canada, for example. No offense to Canada, I love Canada, but things are not going well for the people of Canada. The two-party system seems to be the best political structure that happens to work. People can barely figure out what happened a week ago, yet you expect them to navigate 7 political parties. That's a certain way for the policies that we don't like to actually go into power. Too confusing. People can barely even understand too. But all right. So these people, they think that they're on the right side of history because they agree with what Don Lime says on CNN. They agree with Anderson Pooper. They agree with all these people that have been lying to us since the beginning of time. How many times you got to get lied to before you realize that maybe things are not what they seem? How many times when you were a kid did you get fed food that had high fructose corn syrup? Look at the food that's in your cabinet. If you can't see that there are corrupt organizations that is allowing all this stuff to happen, if you can't understand that, then I don't even know, you can't be helped. If you go to a hospital right now in America, one of the best health systems in the world, and you go to a hospital, what are they selling at that hospital? They're selling soda, donuts, pastries, sugar-laden granola bars, healthy bars that are not healthy. You eat food in a hospital, it's trash. Processed garbage. Every single solution to every one of your problems is a pill. Anxiety, a pill. No, you should probably get some sun and take a hike. Oh, you got heart problems? Maybe you should change your diet. Nope, you should take this pill. Oh, you got cholesterol issues? Pill. Headaches? Pill. Inflammation? Pill. Every single thing, every solution to everything is a pill, is a purchase, is a transaction. The food is trash. The border is trash. The mainstream media is no longer journalism. Every single person is bought and paid for by a small collection of corporations that own all the products. There's poison in almost every single household item that we use. Every cleaning item, every soap item, every toiletry item, poison everywhere. I live in a major American city, and the water that comes through the pipes is disgusting. Disgusting. I have to have my water, the lifeblood of human existence, shipped to me on a truck. And I was 34 years old before I realized, or before anybody ever told me that I was 33 years old before anybody even suggested to me that spring water from your local area is probably healthier for you than filtered water, pH balanced water, or for example, spring water from the other side of the world, like Fiji. Getting it from your local area. Very interesting. Nobody seems all too concerned that corporations like Nestle, who sell some of the most toxic and absolutely horrible food products imaginable, own such a huge percentage of the world's water and sell that water. And you have Officer Dweebus in Texas saying that he's going to start an investigation into Ron DeSantis for committing some crime by sending 50 migrants when there's hundreds of thousands of them pouring into border towns in Texas, overloading them as we speak. Overdose deaths are through the roof. Fentanyl deaths through the roof. Thank you, Rob, for the Venmo. I really appreciate that. It's very generous of you, Rob. Thank you so much for the Venmo, Rob. Thank you. The fentanyl crisis, the opioid crisis, all of the homelessness in the United States, all of these things that are so horrible and primarily a result of bad policy. There's no investigations into that. There's no investigations into the fentanyl problem. There's no investigations to tens of thousands of people that die from fentanyl. But 50 people that got shipped to Martha's Vineyard for 44 hours, that deserves an investigation. You have these people that think they're on the right side of history because they agree with Elizabeth Warren. They agree with Elizabeth Warren, who says that Trader Joe's is making too much profit, but Pfizer is not. Pfizer is fine. Moderna can make record profits. They can make $90,000 of profit a second on the taxpayer. But don't worry, guys. Let's point our ire at Trader Joe's. Look that up. Elizabeth Warren, Trader Joe's is making too much profit, guys. Don't worry, guys. Trader Joe's. Everybody rally together so we can bring down the long pen 15 of the law and stuff it in the dirt star of Trader Joe's. While Pfizer, Moderna, and all these other companies get to profit astronomically off the back of the taxpayer. Yet never one single time has anybody said anything about, hey, maybe Pfizer should maybe give some of that money back. Had anybody ever thought about that? How about the hospital systems? How about the hospitals that got paid out on the taxpayer dime for potentially taking in clap patients? How about that? How about the emergency ship that went to Manhattan during the height of the clam dem that used nothing, that had basically no rooms filled? A ship, an emergency ship, comes into the harbor and they didn't even use it. It's like, how could you think that you're on the right side of history and be complicit with all this stuff? And all you can say is, Donnie is a bad orange, very evil, very bad man. When you think that this guy is so bad and evil that you think suppressing a former president of the United States of America from being able to speak in the public square is on the right side of it. You think you're fighting fascism because you silenced a former president and a potential political candidate. You think that you're fighting fascism by suppressing the speech of people that you disagree with. How backwards is that? These people are irrational, sad inside, and love just scooping up their good boy points. As I posted that video on TikTok the other day of the guy who was in the White House and shook Joe Byron paint through a straw. What'd you do with your daughter in that shower? And he's like, I shook Joe's hand and I creamed my shorts. It's like, congratulations, bro. This kid's 18 years old, 400,000 followers on TikTok, is racking up hundreds of thousands of views, is being pushed by Occupy Democrats, and in this endless cycle loop of them complaining about Ron DeSantis and everything else. Tell me a policy that you think's going to work and show me a proof that it worked. Oh, congratulations, Joe. He signed the Inflation Reduction Act. This dude doesn't know what causes inflation. These people don't understand the basics of economics. It's like, no, I don't even slight the kid. He's 18 years old. It's like, you don't know any better, bro. But when this kid is 5 years older and he pays his first tax paycheck and it takes $20,000 off the top and he drives down the street and he gets robbed, He might think twice about creaming his pants because he shook Joe Biden's hand. It's like, dude, you don't even know the errors in your way. Like come over here, come out of the world of imagination and walk into the light. You guys are crazy. It's like, how many times does the establishment have to lie to the people? And everybody gets trapped in the right-left trap. It's Dem, it's like, bro, the people that run the show are not elected. But you don't even see that. They can't get outside of the fact Dr. Oslike's crudité, Federbean, is made of steel. I think my candidate is so smart and so virtuous that she won't even debate the other side. You're gonna think that it's okay to vote for a person that refuses to debate the other candidate? You think you're on the correct side of history, being with the person that won't even stand up for their own policies. What is wrong with you? You're going to take health advice from Whoopi Goldblob, from Misery Behar. You're going to take your medical advice from a bunch of people that don't appear to be pretty healthy, a bunch of old ladies that are objectively not healthy by looking at them. You're going to take your health advice and think you're on the right side of history because you disagree with Joe Rogan, 50 plus year old in the shape of his life, Joe Rogan, but you're going to listen to Whoopi Cushion, who's like, it's like on The View. It's just like, that you think you're on the right side of history as you agree with Whoopi Cushion? What planet are you guys on? I don't understand what planet these people are living on. It's just like, dude, what is wrong with you? So emotionally manipulated, so full of it, so quick and easy to believe every single thing that gets spoon-fed into their dirt star. Look at history, you jabroni. Could you imagine? It's like, imagine waking up in the morning and being like, I turned on CNN and Anderson Pooper, whose family lineage I can look up on Wikipedia from any cell phone in the entire planet. And I can look up his family lineage, and I can say that this dude, Anderson Pooper, and his family, and the place that he came from, and him agreeing with what the president says right now, the guy that's been in there for 50 years, why it's so bad and so corrupt, that's the correct take. And Billie Eilish agrees, guys. And you wake up and you're like, yep, I'm right. Billie Eilish is on this side. Could you imagine unanimously agreeing with the demons in Hollywood? Every single person in Hollywood, they're on their balls. Michelle Obama came out herself. Thanks, Harvey. Thanks, Harvey Weinstein. And then you have John McCain's wife, who's on video being like, literally out of her literal face, she's like, we all knew what Jeff was doing. Oh, you knew? Oh. And imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history, agreeing with the person that's like, yeah, we all knew what Jeff was doing, but we just sat there and let him do it. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history and agreeing with all these people? What universe do you reside in? But don't worry, guys. The Inflation Reduction Act just passed. Has any inflation gone down? What universe are you living in? So you can vote with no ID, no problem. You're restricting voting rights by saying that they literally will be like, oh, people of color and people in inner cities and rural people can't figure out how to get an ID. Got it. They're so dumb that they can work and go to school, but they can't figure out how to get an ID. Maybe they shouldn't be vote. If you can't figure out how to get an ID in America, then maybe you're not qualified to vote. I'm just saying. But no, let the illegal immigrants pour in. We don't care who they are, where they came from. They deserve to be treated with respect, even if they committed crimes, even if they came here to commit crimes, even if their first step on American soil was a crime, even if there's a person that's followed all the rules, that lives in Europe, that's an upstanding member of society, that owns a business, that owns property, that's going to come here and bring their business and hire people and bring intelligence and a college degree or whatever else. Let that person wait in line for 10 minutes while this dude swims over the Rio Grande with a bag of garbage, and let him in. Don't worry, he just got out of prison in Venezuela. No problem. Let him in. He deserves to vote too. Let him vote. Let him participate. Oh, it doesn't cost the state anything. Sure it doesn't. That's why he's using the roads, the social services, the medical system, and every single thing else. He's getting a stimmy check. Got it. Meanwhile, you have these literal succubus demons now filing a class action lawsuit on behalf of the migrants that got sent to Martha's Vineyard. Could you imagine being so sad inside that you're the legal representation of people, of these 45 people, that these snakes are going to tangle up and sue the government, which let me remind you is you, the taxpayer. They're going to sue and entangle and squander all of these legal resources and court time to sue the state so that they can extract money from the establishment, and they're going to do a class action lawsuit on behalf of these migrants. Those lawyers should be ashamed of themselves. How disgusting do you have to be to think that that's actually right? But don't worry, guys. I just said disgusting because that's what they say, because everything's disgusting. DeSantis is disgusting. And Marjorie Taylor Greene having a person stand in front of her stepping on the back of her shoe, that's disgusting. But 80,000 people dying of an overdose, 2 million people getting leaked over the border and getting arrested, millions upon millions of arrests being overrun at the border. That's not disgusting. 100,000 people, 80,000 people dying of a fentanyl overdose in America. That's not disgusting. People on the streets in Los Angeles, crime, robberies, rapes, abuse of animals being totally let off scot-free. The guy in New York City smashing that window with that axe at a McDonald's in New York City, getting let out, no cash bail within a couple of hours. That's not disgusting. But Marjorie Taylor Greene walking down the sidewalk and stepping on a person's foot, disgusting. Ron DeSantis sending an air-conditioned flight to Martha's Vineyard, one of the richest zip codes in America, disgusting. Got it. Don't worry, guys, disgusting. They got no results. They got no nothing. They got no policy to stand for. All they can say is Marjorie Taylor Greene is disgusting. Don Jr. is disgusting. Bad orange man bad, very orange, mean tweets. Gas is $600. They don't care. They'll say that Zelensky is so brave and so virtuous and so amazing, and good thing for Zelensky. Don't worry, guys. When you get a couple extra shillings left over after you buy your garbage at the grocery store, make sure you send a Venmo to Zelensky. You're out of your mind. Don't worry, he just silenced all of his political opposition. He just centralized all of the media. He just takes control of the narrative. Don't worry, guys. He's fine. Don't worry. He's very brave. He has a T-shirt. He's relatable. He has green T-shirt on. He's got comfy sneaks. President comfy sneaks. Don't worry, guys. Zelensky has comfy sneaks on. His wife is relatable. Nice wife, relatable. They're at Vogue. Look, they took a photo op in front of a tank. Tank. So relatable. Zelensky's relatable. Look, he has a T-shirt. Look, he has a T-shirt. He has respect for the world. Look at his T-shirt. He's so relatable. He's just like me. Send him a Venmo. Everybody Venmo Zelensky. Flag in bio. I am more virtuous than you. Got it. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of the history while you have flag in bio. Imagine being Adam Kinzinger and you have two flags in your bio on your social media profiles. You're an American representative, and the first flag in your bio, Ukraine. Got it. Just a multi-year investigation of what happened in January, but no investigation of what's happening at the border. Who cares about that? Don't worry, guys. There's a class action lawsuit for the migrants. No big deal. Arrest Ron DeSantis. No big deal. Silence the former president of the United States. No big deal. Fighting fascism, guys. Don't worry. We're fighting fascism. You got inflation off the charts. You're paying 14% more for a basket of groceries than you did 2 years ago. You got record high prices for gas that are being artificially lowered as a result of them extracting millions of barrels from our strategic oil reserve to artificially lower the price until the midterms. That's totally fine. Who cares about that? You got John Fetterbean who could barely formulate 3 sentences. He's made of steel. He lives in a steel mill. He's 50% steel. Fetterbean, crudité. Everybody's lining up for Fetterbean. He wears a hoodie. He is relatable. His dad ran a business and was a successful capitalist, and he did literally nothing for his literal entire life. But Dr. Oz, because he has a couple of houses, because he actually produced something for the world, don't worry, the doctor's the bad guy, but because of crudité, but the guy that's made of steel that lives underneath a steel plant in a well, he lives inside a well. Fetterbean lives in the well. He's made of steel. Steel. This guy is so much better. Got it. Wasn't sure. Totally forgot about that. My bad. He's made of steel. I'm a steel guy. Who cares? Congrats. He's a steel guy. I stand for the union way of life. I have a Carhartt hoodie on. I stand for the union way of life. Don't worry, guys. Union life. Meanwhile, he's trying to stop fossil fuels because of global warming or global climate goo. Don't worry, guys. Fetterbean, he's going to get it. If he ever got in there, he'd be voting for all those jobs to be eliminated. Climate. I'm made of steel. He has on a hoodie. Fetterbean. He's big old boy. Joe says vote for that big old boy. Got it. Cool. You're on the right side of history, guys. Good job. Doing a great job. Look, Pfizer deserves everything. Donate your money to Pfizer, take your mysterious potion, send your money to Zelensky, and shut up. Got it. Flag in bio. Black and yellow. Okay, got it. No big deal. Investigate the Santa Claus, but don't investigate the border. Don't investigate the inflation. So it's like, okay, so you got inflation going through the chart. Your money's being eroded at a record pace. We're in a hot war with a nuclear power. You got a guy that can barely speak English that'll say something out of his literal face hole only to be corrected by his administration 5 minutes later. that you don't know which one is right because it doesn't matter. Every single mainstream journalist completely unanimously agrees with one another. You're on the same side as Whoopi Cushion and Misery Behar and every other out of shape old bag that's just screaming about what you need to do with your health. Whoopi Cushion's like, I'm going to stay at home and wear a diaper for the rest of my life. Congratulations, whoop. And then you got Misery Behar that's like, I'm going to wear a diaper forever. I don't trust anybody. 15 seconds later is eating crudité at a restaurant in Manhattan with her diaper off. Got it. These are your moral betters. Congratulations. You're on the right side of history. You're on the same side as Misery Behar and Olivia Rodrigo and Lady Gaga. Congratulations, guys. You're politically aligned with the right side of history. You and Lady Gaga. Imagine thinking you're the right side of history because you tell a young, impressionable child that they can just lop off their pen 15 and don't worry, that's for health. It's for health and it's life-saving. It's life-saving health. Get rid of your pen 15 because you can be a girl too. You can be a girl just like me. Okay, got it. Okay, got it, guys. No big deal. You're a girl too. You're a nice girl. You're a friendly girl. Got it. Right side of history. Okay, got it. No big deal, guys. I'm on the right side of history. Don't worry. No big deal. Yeah. So we're in the middle of an inflationary crisis, and you're going to pay off a bunch of college loans. You're going to subsidize college loans. All the people that paid the loans, don't worry about them. Pay off all the degrees. Pay off all the degrees that somebody got an upside down lesbian dance theory degree. But don't worry, we're going to pay that off. But everybody that actually paid their bills, nope, sorry. I'm on the right side of history, guys. Why do you care? Oh, I don't know. Meanwhile, we're in this inflation spiral, and we're going to spend $1 trillion some odd dollars on the college loan debacle. We're sending billions and billions of dollars to Zelensky, and nobody cares. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history, saying we should ship tens of billions of dollars to Zelensky while we can't figure out what's going on here at home. Imagine thinking that cash bail and letting these people commit all these crimes and all these spikes in crime. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history because you agree with all that. Got it. Imagine thinking that you agree with the guy who says the deer aren't wearing Kevlar vests. But don't worry, you're on the right side of history, guys. Don't worry. And any dissent, what's their dissent? You're Donnie. Fetterbean is made of steel. Oh, that's all they got. Donnie, you're Donnie. Okay. Have you ever considered that maybe you're wrong? I don't know. You know what I mean? I'd be interested to hear what your policies are that you think are going to work and when they've worked in history, but whatever. Everybody's trapped. Donnie is bad, very evil, very bad man. He's so bad. So you got all these people overdosing. You got the crisis at the border. You got inflation hitting record highs. You got all this fuel and all these high energy costs. While they're saying, go and get your electric car and then don't charge your electric car. It's like, bro, what is wrong with you? But don't worry, guys. They're on the right side of history. While they sit in their parents' basement and comment on my TikTok video, and all they can say is how I'm wrong, but nothing about how they're right. Nothing about what policies that they have that will actually work. All they can say is vote for Fetterbean, crudité, orange man bad, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Do you even know what it means? Oh, let's make America great again. Who cares who said it? Do you disagree with that? You disagree with America being great? My bad. They see me wearing this America First shirt and they're like, America First? It's like, okay. Yeah, because when you get on an airplane and you lose cabin pressure, the flight attendant says, as soon as the mask comes down, make sure you put it on your kid and your dog and make sure you put it on the guy next to you before you put it on yourself. And it's like, got it, me last. Flight loses cabin pressure, put it on the dog, put it on the kid, gag, and then you die. Got it. Then the kid's mask's not on properly. Kids get zapped, dog gets zapped. Everybody gets zapped. But don't worry because it's you last. Got it. Understood. Right side of history, guys. While they stay in America, while they live in America, the one place where you're free to actually dissent with the powers that be, the one remaining bastion of freedom on the literal face of the earth. But they're so mad at America and they think Joe Biden's going to fix it. Got it. And anybody that disagrees with them, oh, it's Donnie. Every single thing is Donnie. It's only Donnie. Every single thing imaginable. Donnie. Donnie is bad. He's very evil. He's upside down. He's orange. I don't like his hair. I don't like his skin. I don't like his face. He came down the escalator. You got nothing. All they got is low insults because they're sad inside, because they're miserable, because they're riddled with pharmaceutical products, because they're eating high fructose corn syrup while ingesting all of their anxiety meds so that they can go on TikTok and get stuck in a trap and complain about how they don't have what it takes to shake it in the world and the big bad evil corporations preventing them from succeeding. But don't worry, guys, because they're on the right side of history, because Joe Biden is going to help them out. Down with capitalism through my iPhone. While I sit at Starbucks, while I collect my free paycheck. Got it. I care about everyone else. The right is the party of not decency. Oh, what about the decency that you don't care about the people that are getting clapped at the border in all those border towns? I thought you're the party of the decency. Got it. You guys are so decent. Shut up. You should be removed from the conversation. You should be canceled. Got it. Yet 90% of the comments on TikTok, which is all 12-year-olds that don't know anything about the world. This is the general demographic of people that comment hatred on my TikTok videos, which I absolutely love. 95% of them are less than 15 years old, sat inside, live in their parents' basement. They're like, "Ma, the meatloaf." They're very sad. They're very upset. They're upside down. They're a victim of society. Or they're 60 years old and they're sitting there in their house with the money that they worked their entire life to gain as it's being eroded right out of their pocket. But they're like, "Yeah, I'm sticking it to poutine." Congratulations, guys. You're really doing great. Imagine being an adult human person that goes into my TikTok to comment during the stream about how stupid I am. You're an adult, and this is how you're spending your time, commenting on another grown man's podcast. Because you're so on the right side of history. Congratulations, you should probably go back to work. Or maybe go have some fructose corn syrup. Go have a Dr. Pepper. Got it, guys. He's just crying. Yes. But don't worry, guys, because they're on the right side of history. Because they're very bad and very orange. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history if you support a lifelong fireman in New York City, a lifelong police officer in New York City, a teacher that's been teaching in New York City, one of the few great teachers, one of the few great firemen, one of the few great military members, and you say that that person should be fired because they don't take a mysterious potion that you decree is necessary when the statistics lend them to believe that maybe it's not right for them. They might have a doctor's note or a religious exemption that says that they can't take this. They may risk their life to take it, but you think you're on the right side of history by saying that guy can't eat in a restaurant. That girl can't participate in society. That person can't go into a hospital. That person can't go into get an ultrasound so that they can see their child in the womb. The mother has to go in by herself. That person shouldn't be allowed to go and see their ailing adult, their grandparent, in the hospital before they die. They shouldn't be able to do that. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history to say that people can walk over the southern border with nothing but an American citizen or a person for a while there, but an American citizen can't fly inside and outside of the U.S. without taking a mysterious potion or a test? Got it. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history because 3 corporations that have been known to be corrupt have mandated a mysterious potion that you have to take or you lose everything. Got it. Yeah. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history, thinking that the state of Florida should vote for Charlie Crist, who wants to have you have a passport, have a potion passport for you to walk into a grocery store. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history, saying that when a person goes and exercises outside in the United States of America, that they have to wear a diaper on their face hole. Could you imagine being a person that thinks they're on the right side of history that says that a college student that's learning from home, a college student that is taking remote classes from their house needs to get a mysterious potion, otherwise they don't deserve to learn? Could you imagine thinking you're on the right side of history because you think a 6-year-old in Washington, D.C. needs to wear a cloth diaper over their breathing holes for their entire day of school for this entire calendar year, as they're doing right now in America, in the freest nation that the world has ever known? Could you imagine thinking you're on the right side of history by telling a 5-year-old to wear a cloth diaper over their face hole in school right now in America, but a 500-pound, 80-year-old person with diabetes and hypertension and high blood pressure can sit at Fenway Park and drink a 5-gallon big gulp and eat it and throat glizzies for 3 hours and breathe particles on every single person that's 1 inch away from them. But the 5-year-old that goes to school in DC, they have to wear a diaper over their face all day. Could you imagine thinking you're on the right side of history, being on that side of the aisle? Could you imagine thinking that you're actually the virtuous and correct one when that's the side that you agree with? Congratulations, guys. You and Billie Eilish and Olivia Rodrigo and Madonna, you guys can all go jump on a bus and go right over to the White House and talk about how you thought about blowing it up because you're so right and virtuous. Got it. Imagine thinking you're fighting fascism by telling people that they don't have the right to have a handheld protection device to protect themselves. Could you imagine having so little understanding of history that you are on the side of taking away people's ability to protect their own body? Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history when every historical dictator that slaughtered hundreds of thousands of people that ever existed in the world took away the right to speech, the right to dissent, and the right to protect yourself? But you think that you're on the right side of history because you can't figure that out, but you're on the right side. Got it. I don't care where you sit on the who gives birth and what regulation it is debate. But if you're gonna tell me, and you don't have to agree with me, I don't really care. But I'm just saying, imagine thinking you're on the right side of history with a person that has a viable baby that's 8 months and 29 days that could come out and be fine and being like, nope, it's her decision. Look, you can agree with me, disagree. I'm just saying, I'm not here to make my stance on that, but imagine thinking that baby being clapped, that's the right side of history. Got it. But the other side is evil and very bad and very evil. Got it. Okay, whatever you say. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history. Vote with no ID. Immigrants can pour in for no problem. Even if they committed a crime, who cares? $80 billion for the IRS, no big deal. Tax my fellow citizens, even though we get taxed to the wall already. Inflation is totally fine because there's the Inflation Reduction Act. Don't worry, guys. Hunter just committed a federal crime on video, but no one cares. It's made up. It's Russian disinformation. Got it. Even though that they said that it's not. Got it. You got all of the mainstream media and all of Hollywood who have been known to be upside down degenerates, guilty of absolutely disgusting and abhorrent things time and time again. 1 million examples of the horrible things that have been perpetrated by the people that hold power in Hollywood. But you unanimously agree with Hollywood, where if you go to Hollywood and say, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, you get ostracized from that community. You imagine agreeing and thinking you're on the right side of history because you unanimously agree with Hollywood. Got it. We're being clapped in every possible direction, and you think you're on the right side of history because you're on the side with Joe Byron. Got it. Okay. No problem, guys. The stock market is tanking. Home prices are going to tank. The value of your money is tanking. Every understandable economic lever is flashing red. We are getting clapped. Absolutely clapped. And you better believe that when the GDP comes out for the third quarter, which is about, I think it's October 28th, and it comes out that we have 3 consecutive quarters of negative GDP and we have inflation through the roof and energy prices through the roof, they're going to come up with some lie to say that it doesn't matter, just like they did the first time. But all of these useful idiots, all of these establishment mainstream message pushers, all of the shills are going to just line up and lap it up because they don't know. They don't care. Because everybody's equal, guys, and love is love, and everybody's a human, and don't worry if they just committed 1,000 crimes. And don't worry, flying on a plane to Martha's Vineyard, that's traffic. But all the actual traffic that's actually occurring, 50,000 times as much of it, forget about that. Who cares about that? No one cares about that. Don't worry, guys. Trader Joe's is making too much profit, but Faisal's not. Got it? Understood. Don't worry, guys. We'll defend Taiwan, but we won't defend Taiwan. The clam dem is over, but it's not over. Okay, who cares? Yeah. Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history while simultaneously agreeing with all the gobbledygook that these people have been shipping out and selling to you as fact? Could you imagine thinking that you're on the right side of history while unanimously agreeing with all of the garbage that they're lying to you about? Because you want to know the truth? Here's the truth. The establishment does not care about you. The United States government was created by the people for the people to represent the will of the people. The purpose of government is to protect our homeland, protect us in matters of national affair, of international affairs, and for them to preserve our rights. That is the objective, to preserve our rights. Yet we're shipping billions of dollars overseas to Zelensky. They're getting us involved in a hot war with a nuclear power for absolutely no reason. Our representatives on both sides of the aisle, including right and left, you got Melted Turtle Mitch, you got loser Lindsey Graham Cracker, you got Kinzinger, you got Dan Crenshaw, all of them unanimously agree. Ship it to Zelensky. Who cares about Americans? America last. Both parties corrupt all the way through with the exception of very few. The establishment does not care about you. You got the big pharmaceutical companies that bought and paid for half the people that are even in there. The elected officials that you think have power have been anointed by large corporations, large donors, and cronies. Large swaths of our supposed House and Senate representatives make ridiculous stock trades and all benefit to the millions and millions of dollars as they have legally obtained insider information aside from everybody. The people that sit on the financial services committees are buying and selling stocks related to financial services. The people that sit on the wastewater treatment and management committees are buying and selling wastewater treatment companies. You got people like AOC that doesn't even understand the basics of finance. A person that 5 years ago was a bartender in New York City, which is good for her. I'm just saying this gal does not know anything about finance. She's making financial policy with Maxine Waters. They accuse the right and they accuse all of these people of committing all these acts of violence when they're on video saying, go cause a stir, go do this. You got the vice president of the United States telling you to bail out criminals, and then those criminals go and commit other crimes. No care about that. You got the president of the United States lying point blank on TV and absolutely no journalist holding him to account. The establishment hates you. They don't care about you. They want you sick. They want you weak. They want you tired. They want you participating in groupthink, and they want you destroyed. They want the population to be reduced as it was written in stone at the Georgia Guidestones. Absolutely nobody cares. They got destroyed. No record of it. Guy on video making it happen. Nobody cares. Supreme Court decision draft leaked for the first time in history. Unprecedented leak. Couldn't figure it out. Could have been one of 94 people. Can't figure it out. Never going to know. A Supreme Court justice has his life threatened. Don't care about that. No investigation into that. Nobody cares about that. But don't worry, guys. You can smear poop in a person's face in New York City and get out with no bail the next day because of equity. Got it? You can get robbed at gunpoint in a major American city. No problem. Don't worry, guys. Imagine thinking you're on the right side of history while unanimously agreeing with all of that. Send the money to Zelensky, ship Mitch McConnell and Susan Collins, ship them over to Zelensky. He's so brave. He's so much better than us. He's so smart. Imagine. The pharmaceutical industry in America and the food industry in America are the most clear and obvious examples of everybody being on the take. The food that is sold to American citizens is poison. And the vast majority of our health problems can be routed back to that. And then you have the pharmaceutical companies giving us these temporary solutions that make money by you being sick. There's a fast food restaurant on every corner. There's a pharmacy on every corner. They're telling you that you can't protect yourself while they ship tens of thousands of weapons over to Zelensky. We occupy a territory for 20 years, and we leave behind millions upon millions of dollars of helicopters, trucks, vehicles, weapons, night vision goggles, just left behind. They're printing ungodly sums of money and squandering all of our money on wasteful government programs under the guise of saving the planet, while appointing people like John Podesta, go get 7,000 slices of pizza. Let's go ship a plane load of hot dogs to Chicago. John Podesta. You got, what's her name, Marina Abramovich, being invited as an honorary guest over to the Queen's funeral. Plenty of photos of her. You got the supposed truth being told by people that are on the take of the large corporations, getting subsidized by taxpayer dollars, being anointed who wins and who loses. And then aside from all of that, aside from all this poison, aside from all this debauchery, aside from years upon years and decades upon decades of lies and corruption, they've still managed to convince large quantities of American citizens that America is bad, that your neighbor is your enemy, that pharma is your friend, that the government is your friend, that if you take your rights away, that you'll be more safe, that you don't need to protect yourself because you can call the cops, while we're simultaneously dismantling the police force and their budgets. That what Putin does is war crimes, but what we do is fine. That Zelensky is so brave, as Derek Zoolander went over to shake Zelensky's hand and creamed himself, while he removes all other political parties, centralizes and takes control of all the sources of media, controls all of the messaging, jails dissidents, and we got involved in a local conflict that had nothing to do with us. And then this winter is going to come, and the amount of money that it's going to cost to heat a house with natural gas or oil will be so astronomically high that there will be unforetold amounts of human suffering for absolutely no reason. But everybody will be fine, because there will be some false flag or some attention-grabbing story that the mainstream narrative is pushed towards for everybody to be mad at. And while they convince you that this is the story of the day to pay attention to, all the other suffering and bad things will be happening simultaneously. Vast quantities of American citizens have absolutely no idea about the large-scale protests that existed in other countries. You have places like Australia that would take their citizens and ship them to hotels. It's a hotel. But nobody cares about that. Literally put them in a camp, but they're so mad because you said camp. In Canada, you can't say a specific language at work in a certain province. You got your supposed leader saying that if you don't take a mysterious potion, you don't have the right to travel in your own country. You can't leave your own country. You're a prisoner. You can't get on a bus, a plane, a train. You got the bravest among us, first responders, nurses, doctors, medical professionals, police officers, firemen, ambulance drivers that were out there during the height of the clam dem, risking their life, people in the military and the armed services risking their life, giving their civil service to America for pennies on the dollar. They were out there on the front lines taking all the risk the entire time. And you think that you're on the right side of history because they don't want to take this potion that you want them to take. And as a result, they deserve to be fired, to lose their job, to lose their license, to lose their pension, to lose their career, to lose their livelihood, to lose everything. But you think that you're on the right side of history because of that. All right. Got it. Yet every objective truth imaginable gets completely thrown in the memory hole. You think you're on the right side of history when there's emails from your Lord and Savior Zelensky or your Lord and Savior Fauci where he literally says the diapers do X. And they're like, put on your diaper. You literally have the supposed leader of the free world come out and say, here's the policy. And then an unnamed anonymous official, thank you, Minix, for the super chat on YouTube. Appreciate that. And then an anonymous government official will come out and say, no, that's not the policy. Okay. But you think you're on the right side of history when you don't know which one it is. The one that came out of his face or the one that came from an anonymous staffer. Okay. You got Kamala Krusty Harris, who dropped out of the presidential race before the first vote because she had zero support, was one of the most unlikable politicians ever, and remains as such. Then you have Joe Byron, 80-year-old, about to be 80-year-old, establishment politician, been there forever, said all types of ridiculous things over the course of his tenure, flip-flopped on X, Y, and Z, who had no support, who would have objectively not even secured the nomination, but they stole it from Bernie again for the second time. And they managed to garner the most votes in history. Sure, let's just agree. Let's just say they did. They did. But they couldn't get anybody to come to a rally. They couldn't get people to come out to the rally. You saw very few signs, yard signs, no hats, no T-shirts, nobody out and about. Yet they had every major institution agreeing that this is the right guy for the job. And the two most unlikable politicians in the field somehow now win. Let's just say that they did. And you think that you're on the right side of history by unanimously agreeing with every major corporation, every major pharmaceutical company, every major career politician, and your only dissent is Donnie is bad. Donnie is bad, very orange. Ted Cruz, Cancun Cruz. Nope, don't like Ted Cruz. Don't care. Don't like Crenshaw. Yeah, fine. Point those guys out. Anybody that donates to Ukraine, bad. That's their only defense. Orange man, bad. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's very bad. She's very mean. Oh, my God. Very orange, very bad, very upside down. Mean tweets, rhetoric. They got no policy that would actually work. They got no evidence of anything work. The country is in shambles. They think that they're actually accomplishing something because he's having these theoretical legislative wins, which are just money squandering boondoggles that are going to put us even further into debt. Donnie squandered trillions of dollars. He was pro-lockdown. Not saying he's that much greater, not saying he's that great all the time anyways. Definitely better than theirs. But like, my position is DeSantis is the best candidate for president without question. I don't care. I think DeSantis would be and is the best politician in America right now. And even though he is imperfect, he is the best that we've got, in my opinion. But all they can say is very bad, very orange, you shill for Donnie, because they have no position. Somebody's in the comment. They're like, DeSantis, he's a rhino. Is he a rhino? Got it. Thanks for that very, very intelligent comment on TikTok, where intelligence goes to die. Thanks to the people that bought the badges on Instagram. Walker French, Lana Liberty, Holistic Wellness from Within, and Coach Cosina. Thank you so much for the badges on Instagram. Really appreciate that. Thank you to the gentleman before that sent the Venmo. Really appreciate that. And to the Super Chat on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Somebody said, do you like DeSantis over Trump? Yes. So that was my rant. That was an hour and 20-minute rant, but I want to take a few questions. I want to look at the comments and whatnot, and I want to engage with the audience here. So if you have some questions, hit me with some questions in the comments. I am reading the comments from Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. I don't believe I can see the comments on Rumble right now. So deepest apologies. For those that are here on Instagram that do not follow me, hit the arrow, make sure you follow me. After the show, make sure you go to bobbysauceshow.com and leave a review. And go to followbobby.com for all my links on all the platforms, and go to bobbysauce.com to get this shirt and support the channel. So yeah, now I'm going to read some of the comments. Have I seen the Safety Act in Illinois? Yes. Yet another example of woke policies that will destroy people's safety. Absolutely insane. Troubling to say the least. Jay Kretzker says, is an economic collapse coming in your opinion? Yes. I think that there's more. I think that there's more than enough obvious examples of how we are in an economic calamity. I think that the interest rates are going to have to go up above the rate of inflation in order to balance out. And if inflation is 8-9%, you're going to see interest rates 8-9%. It's going to crash the real estate market, probably. The ability to borrow and the centralization and wealth shift is going to continue. And I think we're in a lot of trouble. Somebody on TikTok who is sad inside said, are you sleepy from all that crying? Congratulations, dude. Go take some pharmaceutical products. You're out of Coca-Cola. Go fill up your Coca-Cola. Person without a profile picture that's very sad inside. That's like Ma the Meatloaf is commenting on TikTok. What a surprise. Did I see in Denmark that they banned the juice under 18? I believe they actually stopped using it under 50, but I did see under 18, yes. Yet another example, if you follow the tea leaves and you actually do a little bit of research, you can see that the world is waking up to this stuff, and that in a lot of cases the risk of that is a lot worse than the risk of the supposed thing. I saw somebody just send me a Venmo request. You do not have to be my friend on Venmo in order to make a donation if you choose to do so. The Venmo and Cash App is at Take Naps. Thank you to anybody in advance that's considering leaving a tip or a donation. I really appreciate it. Somebody said that 60 Minutes episode was a joke. Absolutely. Can the collapse be avoided if we turn the White House at midterms? I don't know. I don't think so. I would say it certainly would be a boost for people that are participating in the economy and investors. I think that if you were to take a little bit of power back, which I think is probably very likely based on historically the leading party seems to lose seats at the midterms. So I would say, yeah. I would say, yes, that's probably good for the economy in some ways, but I don't believe that that's enough to avert a crisis. I think the Federal Reserve Bank and all of our borrowing and the increase of interest rates are going to crush us. Because what people don't understand is that the federal government has loans that has a lot of loans that are very short-term loans that as these rates increase, like the largest part of our budget or increasingly larger part of our budget is being spent on interest and to pay down all the fees. So I wouldn't be surprised if we were to have some type of default on our loans type situation. But I think that the housing market is in for a rude awakening. I think that the energy prices that are going to come this winter and the suffering that's going to happen as a result is going to be a rude awakening. I think that the inflation is going to continue. The CPI is going to continue to be terrible. I think that what they're doing with all the gas-powered and electric vehicles is going to be bad for the grid. Electric's going to continue to go up. I have a lot of holdings in the stock market. And I've been realizing lately that I've lost so much that it might even be a better idea to divest some from the stock market and either hedge against it or buy cash flowing assets, which is what I've been starting to do. And I've been investing my cash that would have otherwise been invested in the stock market into things like this channel. So I invested in these lights, these cameras, this extra phone, this high quality camera, and helping to grow this channel. If you've been seeing the videos that I've been putting out lately with all that stock footage and my voiceovers, those all cost money. So I've been reinvesting back into my business as opposed to investing into the stock market, which is yielding very little. Somebody said, do I recommend solar for home? I don't really know very much about solar power. My cousin is huge in solar, so he would be able to know, but I would say it might be a good idea. I don't know. Somebody said sell some stock off. I did start selling some stock. I sold some of my positions in Google and Uber yesterday. I still have a tremendous amount of Uber stock as well as a decent amount of Google stock, but I did divest a bit from that just to bring more cash back to the table. Somebody on TikTok said, you just talk to yourself. Yeah, I mean, just in case you wanted to understand, when you turn a camera on yourself and you live stream, you're pretty much talking to yourself, but I'm not talking to myself because you're here. So who am I talking to? Guess I'm talking to nobody. I don't know what to tell you. People are so clueless. They think that they're mic dropping on TikTok because they say things that they believe are so intelligent. And it's just like, dude, what planet are you on? Hit the X, like leave the chat. No one cares. Somebody said Donnie will not run. I think that's highly improbable. I would be very, very surprised if he did not run. Super glad I invested in the broadcast. Likewise. I think my homie Fort Lauderdale Photo, who I don't know if he's still in the chat, but he was the one that helped me set it up. So if you don't already follow him, go and follow him at Fort Lauderdale Photo. On Instagram. He's the man. He's the one that helped me set up the stream. So give him a like. Was I in finance before social media? No, I was not. I was a web developer for 13 years. The reason that I have such an understanding of finance and in economics is for one reason and one reason specifically. When I was 20, I want to say 25, 26, I was like, I don't have any money. Like, I don't have enough money. Why? Why do I not have so much money? And it was because I didn't understand money. And I was like, in order to understand money, I have to love money. I don't have to love money like I'm a slave to money, but I have to love it, meaning I have to love it and respect it. I have to respect money as a tool, like a hammer. I have to respect money. In order to respect something, you need to know about it. You need to know it inside and out, just like you know a person. So I needed to know money. In order to know money, I need to understand, where does it come from? Same as a person. Think about when you meet a new person, you are dating a person. How do you develop a love for that person? You get to know them. You spend time with them. You realize what they can do, what their weaknesses and what their strengths are, how they benefit you and how they take away from you. You realize that they're either a plus to your life or they're a negative. You learn their history, what makes them tick, what makes them go up, and what makes them go down. So I started to learn about money, where it came from, how it began, and that ultimately drove me to politics and understanding that politics has a lot of sway over the value of money. In order to understand money, you need to understand the economy. You need to understand basic economics. There's basically two schools of economics. There's Keynesian economics and Austrian economics. I started listening to Ron Paul, who I think is one of the best politicians that America has ever had, and I started listening to people like Peter Schiff and Jim Rickards and a variety of other financial minds. I started listening to people like Grant Cardone and Brad Lee and paying attention to the financial guidance of people that had more money than me. And I started to understand how the economy works. Peter Schiff did a great video during Occupy Wall Street. Was one of the times that really woke me up to understanding money, where he said, I'm in the 1%, ask me anything, or I'm in the 1%, let's talk. And he walked around during Occupy Wall Street and he explained finances. So if you want a crash course in economics, go watch that. It's on YouTube. So I was not in finance, but I knew that I needed to understand how to make money. And in order to grow my business and have my business make money, I needed to understand the instrument of money and the tool. So I became a student of the economy, a student of money. I did a lot of research. I paid a lot of attention. I started investing. I started buying stocks. I started buying assets. I started buying cash flowing internet properties. I started selling domain names. And I started investing money in my house, seeing the value of my house go up. And I just started making investments, and I learned over the years about how money works. And as a result, it helps me understand how to spend and how to save, how to earn more, how to invest in the right things, and how to grow it. And I'm still learning every day. I listened to an economic podcast yesterday, today. Every day I'm always trying to figure out how to do it better. Thank you on TikTok for saying tap the screen for sauce. There's almost 20,000 likes in the video on TikTok. I think that's a new record. Somebody said the Federal Reserve is raising rates this week. That's highly probable. Somebody said, "Why won't allow me to subscribe?" I don't know what are you trying to subscribe to? Somebody said on Facebook, "Do I follow 17?" No, I do not. What's the game? What's the name of the crash course? It's by Peter Schiff. It's on YouTube. I think it's called I'm in the 1%. Just look it up. Just type in Peter Schiff Wall Street 1% and you'll see it's on YouTube. What's up, Danny on TikTok? Thank you, Ranchology. Who's my favorite podcaster? Probably Steven Crowder, I would say. I listen to Ben Shapiro a lot because I think he's got a lot of good takes. But I would say my favorite is probably Crowder. But actually, no. My favorite podcaster is Peter Schiff. 100% Peter Schiff. But Crowder is somebody that I like and respect tremendously. Somebody said, did I inherit my eyebrows from my mother or father's side? I believe it was my father. Somebody said Venezuela is sending prisoners to the U.S. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's true. It seems like it is. Peter Schiff, 1% YouTube. Yep, that's it. Eric said, not asking if you believe about 17, but do you keep an eye on it? No, I do not keep an eye on it. A very sad person inside said, if you worked for or support Donnie, you are most likely to go to jail. Congratulations, dude. What country? Who's paying you to type that stuff? It's like a profile photo-less sad person, but okay. Ma, the meatloaf. Do I love the Pelosi podcast? I don't even know what that is. Do I like or listen to Buck Sexton? I don't listen to Buck Sexton. He only has so much time in the day, but I see him on Tucker, so I would wager that he's probably good, and I see him on Fox. But I don't listen to him regularly. Somebody said, I saw one of your comments on another page responding to, why would you follow a Dem page you don't agree with? To see both sides. This is part of the problem. Yeah, exactly. I follow a lot of the Democratic pages, and when they say things, I go and look it up. If I see a post on Occupy Democrats or one of these other left-leaning pages, I go and look it up, and I see if I agree with them. That's what I do every time. It's like, but they don't do that. They're not doing that. They're just like bad orange man. He's very bad, and he's very orange. It's like this dude, he rents the penthouse of your mind for free. What do I think will happen in 2024? Beats me, man. My contention has remained the same from the beginning, which I still think is highly probable, but I don't have any advanced knowledge any more than the other. I don't have any more advanced knowledge than anybody else. Hold on a second. Okay. But I think what's going to happen, if I had to guess, I think that Donnie will run. I think that Donnie will get the nomination, and I think that Joe will say that he is not medically capable of holding the office, and I think that he will resign before the end of his term. I think Krusty will become the president, and they will say that Krusty cannot campaign because she's too busy running the country. And I think that all of the media will run cover for her while she's the president, and it'll be this big celebration about look at the great job that she's doing, and they'll use that as some justification of saying that she needs to be the president. That's what I think will happen, but I don't know. Somebody on TikTok says, guess what? Nobody cares what you think ever. Okay, cool. Glad. Thanks for the comment. Sick comment. Yeah, I mean, my videos just get watched 3 million times a month because nobody cares what I think ever. Got it. No problem. Just going to a college campus in a couple of days to speak there, and have spoken at conferences and have hundreds of thousands of people that follow every day and consume all of the media. But yeah, nobody cares. Got it. But the person with no profile photo on TikTok that lives in their mom's basement, that's full of anxiety meds, that hates themselves, that's sad inside, that's like, hey, your dad loves you. Don't worry. I got the message from you loud and clear. No one cares what I think. Got it. That's why you're here. Congrats. Good for you. The meatloaf is ready. Do I take naps? Yeah, of course. Love taking naps. Yeah, I think that I do think that Newsom is going to run, and I wouldn't be surprised if they run Newsom v. For V. Krusty, because she's unelectable. Somebody said, "Is Donnie a liar?" I mean, I wouldn't be. I think that there's a lot of things that he's done that are not great, but I don't know that I would say that he's a liar. Somebody said, "Are you a liar?" Yeah, I'm a liar. Someone said, "Will you and Ian do a live anytime soon?" Yeah, I would be down to do a live with Ian. The thing about the lives on Instagram with other people is that I have all these channels now. I have Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Getter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. If I go live with one person on one platform, I can only stream on that one platform. So I've been trying to do the pods like this. Have I met Steven Crowder? No, I have not met Steven Crowder. Somebody said, when you get off, look up the BP oil refinery that exploded in Ohio just now. Okay, I'm sure they'll use that as a way to demonize any oil. But yeah, keep doing a good job. Thank you, whoever said that on TikTok. Appreciate it. Talk about clones for the next 20 minutes? No. Newsom was almost recalled. Yeah. I haven't checked the Rumble stream. I want to log in on Rumble and see if I can see some comments from people there. I don't know I should be live there. But I'm curious if I can see. Hold on a second. No, there's no comments there, but there are some people watching live on Rumble. So what up, people on Rumble? Hold on a second. Cool. Some people watching live on Rumble. That's what's up. What's up, Rumble people? Thank you, NJ's Glass, for telling people to tap on the screen. 23,300 likes on TikTok. I think that is a new record. Maggie May says, somebody says, you must be busy. How do you find time for yourself? I just love doing this. I get a lot of joy from doing this. I've always been a person that works really hard. I'm no stranger to hard work. So I have no problem putting in time. And if this is my job, I would do this all day long. I love it. So I take time for myself when the opportunity is not ripe, you know? I like the momentum that I'm building here on this channel. I like the fact that people are really digging what I have to offer. I like that I can randomly turn my camera on and get hundreds and hundreds of people to watch live, and then thousands of people to watch it the next day. I love that each of the podcast's episodes are getting more views or more listens than the last one. I like that the streams are growing bigger on TikTok. The streams are growing bigger on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. The views are growing. My Facebook just hit 40,000 followers yesterday or a couple days ago. My Instagram is almost to 140,000. My TikTok is just under 100,000. Over 13,000 on Getter. I'm growing on Rumble as well. I'm almost to 400 or 500 on Rumble. My True Social is almost 300. I almost have 1,000 on Twitter, and I am almost to 4,000 on YouTube. So I like the fact that the channels are growing, and I like the momentum. Yeah, people on TikTok, all they can talk about is bad Orange Man. Orange Man is bad. A bunch of bots with no profile photo. A bunch of sads. Yo, the meatloaf is ready. Your mom's upstairs with the meatloaf. Go get the meatloaf. Somebody said, I wanted to share that I'm stuck in Massachusetts and I feel like I'm in hell. I would say plan your strategy and get out of there. Pompeo, what up? TikTok, Pompeo. Somebody said, I'm not surprised. You're brilliant. Oh, thank you. That's very nice. I enjoy you and Benny. That's what's up. Maggie May says, do you think you've changed any younger generation's minds? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to think so. I'm showing Maggie's comment from YouTube on the screen. I'd like to think so. A year and a half ago. No, not a year and a half ago. Just about a year ago, coming up on the 1 year anniversary, I joined Turning Point USA as an ambassador. Turning Point has never told me what to say or how to say it, who to endorse or what to do. They've never told me what not to do. All they did is I realized that joining a force that's helping to inform the younger generations how the world works and preach to them about America and how good it is and how great it is and how prosperous we've become as a result of capitalism and free markets and rugged individualism. So I joined in as an ambassador on Turning Point, and I'm actually going to do my first event with them on a college campus next week in Minneapolis, Twin Cities, University of Minneapolis, and hopefully I can change some minds there. I spoke on a panel at Student Action Summit in Tampa a couple of months ago for Turning Point. There was about 100, 150 people in the room for that, and a lot of young people that were looking for some inspiration, so I hope I might have changed some minds there. Turning Point has reposted some of my videos, hopefully changing some minds about college being a scam and the like. So I do think that I probably have changed some minds of some young people. I certainly like trying to, because I think that that's the thing, is like, if we all don't put in our own effort, if we all don't try, then then our cause is hopeless. So we all have to try. I hate how this chair is squeaking. I got to put some WD-40 on it or something. Somebody says, what hobbies or interests other than politics do you enjoy? I like to kayak. I have an electric longboard. I like to longboard. I like to travel. I like nice restaurants. I like music festivals. I like dance music festivals. I like live music. And I like going to the gym. I like exercising. I like riding my bike. I like walking. And I like making progress. My hobby is getting better. I like to get better all the time. That's what I like to do. Somebody on TikTok said, I've been watching your videos since 2020. That's what's up. Thank you so much. This chair, I need to replace the cushion on this chair. It's so uncomfortable. Thank you, Joe, on Facebook. Appreciate that. Somebody on TikTok said, you're genuine. It's refreshing. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like I said, if you're on Instagram and you don't follow me, make sure you hit the arrow and follow me. If you're on TikTok, make sure that you hit the button right there and follow me on TikTok. I think that's where the follow button is, but make sure you follow me if you don't already on TikTok. Make sure you go to followbobby.com after the stream and follow all the channels. Go to bobbysauceshow.com and leave a review if you could. Christina said, what inspires you? What inspires me is seeing other people succeed at a high level, knowing that an individual can help millions of people prosper. Seeing people that do motivational speaking and write books and, fly on private jets and have yachts and have huge houses and have lots of people that love them and have helped millions of people, that inspires me the most. Seeing what a single individual can create with hard work and helping other people. That inspires me the most. When I walk at night, I see a lot of big yachts, and I just love looking at those yachts and saying, this is just an individual that worked really hard. And it is achievable. So I find myself inspired by stuff like that. Thank you, JMO on TikTok. First time I ever saw you was doing the Canadian Trucker Convoy, and you were on with the live stream. Yep. Thank you, Prudence Parlay. I went on with that one gentleman that I wanted to show some love to. And I was like, dude, you're the man. Austin, I believe is his name. Oh, thanks for the air dancer on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thank you for the fight. Appreciate that. Santos Flooring, just trying to play my part here. Somebody said on TikTok, what did you hear about the train strike? It sounded to me, I mean, based on my understanding of the train strike, is they kind of had everybody, they kind of had the corporations, like they kind of had them, you know, bent over a box. They kind of were ready to roast them. So to me, it sounds like, you know, they kind of shook them down, but I don't know. I need a sauce beanie. You can grab it on bobbysauce.com. Oh yeah, Shots by Hill. That's it. That's right. That's who I was live with. Somebody said on TikTok, I don't know what they're talking about on TikTok. Generally speaking, not good stuff. Thank you, Happy Spice on Instagram. Appreciate that. Somebody said, Dave on Facebook said, it only takes one person to change the world. I agree. I think it's really important to understand that each of us playing our own individual role and contributing to the game is absolutely necessary in order for the world to change positively. And I think that each of us has to contribute and participate in the game. Otherwise, it will go in ways that we don't like, perhaps. And we really have no right to complain about it. It's like, if you're going to complain about what's going on and you choose not to vote, not to participate, not to talk about it, not to be about it, then it's like, do you really even care? You certainly don't care enough to participate. So do you care? Somebody said lots of us would like to see you collaborate with Crowder. That's what's up. I would love to do that. I mean, obviously I look up to those guys a lot. I think they do great work. I would love to do anything with them. So tag them. Be like, yo, you know, tag Quarterblack, tag Dave Landau, tag Steven, and be like, yo, this dude's the man. Get him on. And maybe they will. Stella on Facebook said, thanks for being a loud voice of reason and waking people up. Appreciate it so much. It's comments like that and feedback like that that really helps me keep the channel going, because you love to hear that type of stuff, and it's so crucial. Big thanks to, I just pulled up my email and I see the people that made donations online. Big thanks to the people that made donations. Thank you, Rob, for the Cash App. Really appreciate that. Thank you, other Rob that sent a Venmo, and thank you, Jessica, for the Venmo. Appreciate that. And thank you, DCA. Thank you, Concrete Guy. I won't say your whole thing, but thank you, Concrete Guy, for the donation on Cash App as well. Really appreciate that. Maggie says Anomaly went in on Crowder today. I'm not really sure what that means, but I'll check it out. What about Tim Pool? Yeah, I mean, I think Tim Pool has great takes. I think he's doing a lot of good work, so I would love to talk with them too, for sure. I'm open to talking to anybody. Somebody says, Albertan Trucker checking in. Thanks for making my evening enjoyable. Thanks, Benjamin. Appreciate that. We appreciate what you guys did up in Canada. A lot of bravery. Somebody on TikTok said, people pay you money for this nonsense. Well, apparently because they like the channel. They want to help contribute to the cause, and I appreciate them. That's how business works here in the world. You support the people, the creators that you like, and they can make more content that you like, and they spread the message that you like. That's how the world works. Sorry, but that's just how it goes. Joanna said, are you still doing your original art? If somebody Venmo'd me, I would make some art for them for sure. Of course. I would always do that. That was a fun time. I sold like $800 worth of marker drawings in one live stream one time. That was a wild time. But yeah, thank you everybody that made the Venmo and Cash App donations. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. And for the people that donated on YouTube. Much appreciated. And I saw an order came in on bobbysauce.com. Somebody bought some new merch. Thank you, Christine, for the order on bobbysauce.com. Very, very much appreciated. So I'm at an hour and 50 minutes. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. I don't want to go over 2 hours. It's almost 10 o'clock. So I'll stick around for another 10 minutes or so, and then I will jump off. Thank you, Walker French. Appreciate it. Megan said stars for your thoughts. Thank you so much, Megan. Somebody's writing about the Anunnaki, but he's anti-Anunnaki? I love old alien stuff. I love alien research. Biggie's doing well. He's chilling. He was in here before, but I don't know where he is now. He's probably in the other room snozzing on his pillow, but he's doing well. Biggie is my dog, for those that don't know. He is it's his 17th birthday on October 25th. 17th birthday. I got him when he was 8 weeks old. Maggie said, do you think you'll ever run for office in the future? Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I never really thought about it much. I had always thought that I would always kind of like, that would be awesome. You want to set your sights high for what you could produce in this world. So I certainly wouldn't be against it. I never would have thought that I would have been able to do that, but now, if I believe that was the highest and best use of my time for the country that I care so much about, then yeah, of course I would run for office. If I believed that was the best thing I could do, I would. So who knows? Johnny says, do you America First guys think we should stop giving money to Israel? I think we should stop giving money to anybody. If you want to know the truth, I think that all of our welfare that goes around the world, I don't think we should be giving money to anybody. I think that we should focus on our domestic issues at home. I think we should pull our troops out of a lot of places. I think we should bring the money back home, and I think we should focus on us, and I think we should get our stuff right. So if giving money to Israel or whatever other country falls into that category, I think that us taking care of the entire world is no good. Now, I know that we do have a lot of allies and strategic partners in a variety of places around the world. I would believe that Israel and a lot of other nations probably fall in that category, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, this is bad or whatever. But I do believe that the money should stay here. I think smaller government is better. Has my sleep improved since surgery? As far as I know, it appears that it has. Apparently, I don't snore anymore. So we'll see. I have to get the test. Somebody said they purchase our weapons, helicopters, planes. A lot of places purchase our weapons, helicopters, and planes, including Saudi Arabia. Do I support universal health care? Absolutely not. Universal health care is a terrible idea. No, I do not support it. 26,000 likes on TikTok. That's what's up. If you like the stream so far and you're on TikTok, hit the likes. Throw me some hearts. Do me a favor and tap the like button if you would on TikTok. Really appreciate it. Someone on Facebook said channels like this are changing the political landscape. Even here in Canada, we listen. Shout out to the Canadian frontline workers and Bobby Sauce. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Appreciate that. I'm doing the best I can and trying to contribute my part. Somebody said, do I receive many threats? No, not really. Certainly there's a lot of people that have been hate-filled over the course of time, but there's been so much more abundant praise and thanks than there ever has been hate. So somebody said, why do you think our life expectancy has gone down by 6 years? I wouldn't be surprised if it had something to do with the juice. I wouldn't be surprised if it had a lot to do with our medical system and the food that we eat and the fentanyl, as well as drug overdoses, alcohol overdoses, and a variety of other things. So I would say, yeah, that's probably why. I think a lot of our money is being squandered overseas on a lot of things that don't help us. And I think that it's about time that we start paying attention to our own problems before we start trying to help everybody on the planet. Do I support programs to address those things? To address what things? Prudence said, it was wonderful to hear your influence and impact over in Australia. Yeah, they really hated me over in Australia. They were not fans. They were very mad that I was telling them the truth. They're like, you don't live here, mate, you bloke. And I was like, okay. I don't need to live there to talk to people that are there. I don't need to live in Mississippi to know that the water is brown. You know, it's like, you don't have to live in a place to understand what's happening there, but okay, got it. Do I believe in programs to address fentanyl addiction? Depends what kind of programs. The government and the bureaucracy ruins a lot of things. Do I think that they should be investigating and solving that problem by instating policies that would prevent the transaction of it? Yeah, of course. You know how many people would survive and live as a result of that? Yes, of course. But saying that the government is going to solve any and all problems when they've got historical data that shows that they fail at most things that they do, I don't think that squandering more tax dollars on more stupid programs is a solution. Yeah, small government is better, because if there was a smaller government on the federal level, thank you, Margaret, for the Venmo, really appreciate it. If there was smaller government on the federal level, there would be more money kept by the states, and the states could protect their own towns and municipalities and districts on their own, and they could create those programs on their own, and more of the money would be kept in the pockets of the people. Think about how much money you spend every year on taxes, right? If you spend 30% of your 20% of your money on taxes every year, do you think that if you were to get an extra percentage of those taxes back, you maybe would consider maybe donating some of it to some causes that you like? Or do you think everybody would just keep the money? No, you'd probably you'd contribute more. You would donate more. You would participate more in your local community if you had that extra 30 points. You probably would. Or you would support other companies and businesses that give back to the community, because you would have extra cash. You would have more resources. If the government got out of the way, we could prosper to such a high degree that most people don't even understand. We squander so much money on nothingness. Do I think 87,000 new IRS agents is a bad idea? Of course. Of course. Because those people are going to come for lower middle class people. They're not going to get the big guys. People that are rich don't pay taxes as it is. They don't pay federal income taxes. They figure out ways to get around it, which is their legal right. Thank you, Michael, on Instagram. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chris Pitufo. Appreciate it. I guess do you have any questions about Donnie, whether or not he was involved with Jeffrey Poopstain? No, I don't think he was involved with Poopstain. He was like one of the only people to actually do something. He kicked him out of his club a long time ago. I mean, I don't think he has anything to do with him. I don't see any evidence to suggest that he does. Yeah, flat tax would be great. To be honest with you, I don't think there should be any income tax. I think the income tax should be zero. I think the only tax should be on purchases. I think there should be a flat tax on purchases. If there was going to be an income tax, it probably should be flat, but I do think that there should be a tax on purchases. All of the taxes should be connected to purchases, not to income. Almost 20,000, almost 30,000 likes on TikTok. That's what's up. Yeah, the government needs to get out of the way. I agree. Some of the comments on TikTok are getting very zany. I don't know what that even means. Why do we need all these political representatives? Yeah, the government is bloated. It's a completely bloated system where they squander countless dollars. So much of our money is squandered on absolutely nothing. It's a complete boondoggle, and the world would prosper. The United States would prosper to such a high degree if the government was just to get out of the way and give more power and freedom to the people in the free market. I'm going to be a staunch supporter of smaller government for the rest of my life because I understand that the bureaucracy does a great job of squandering cash. They waste so much money. And we would all prosper so much more as a result if they didn't squander so much cash. I think that taxing billionaires is a bad idea. Taxing anybody more than they're already being taxed is ridiculous. Taxing corporations, I don't think that the corporations should be taxed anymore either. Do people understand that corporations are paying taxes on a multitude of things? They're paying payroll taxes. They're paying local taxes, state taxes, right? They're paying taxes on their buildings. They're paying taxes on their employees. They're paying taxes on everything that they're purchasing, buying, selling, all that stuff. They're paying taxes all around. Then their shareholders are paying taxes. They're paying taxes on the holdings whenever they distribute what's it called? I forget what it's called. Whenever they distribute any cash out, an interest payment, I forget what it's called. But whenever they distribute shareholder payments out, interest, I forget what it's called. I'm forgetting the word. But when they pay that, all the shareholders are paying tax. They're paying income tax on their money. A corporation should probably not be taxed at all because all of that money is going to go back to the employees. It's going to go back to lower prices. It's going to go back to innovation. A dividend, that's it. The dividends are taxed. The shareholders are taxed. Their income tax, their property tax, their employees are taxed. Every single thing, everything is taxed. So adding an additional corporate tax on top of that is so pointless. Completely pointless. Yeah, dividend. That's it. Somebody said profit sharing. You are profit sharing by being an employee and collecting a paycheck. That's your profit sharing. If I created a business right here and I had 500 employees, you don't think I deserve to make the most money out of the 500 employees? After all the sacrifice and all the capital investment and all the buildup and all the resources and all the saved capital and all the everything, building the systems and structures to employ 500 people, you don't think that person should make 10 times as much as the employees? Like, what the hell are you talking about? You know what I mean? People are so insane. It's like 90% of all millionaires are self-made. Like over 80% of them inherited next to nothing. Yet everyone's like, golden spoon. Matt, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I didn't understand the context of the question. I'm just saying when people say profit sharing, usually what they mean is like, oh, it should all be split evenly amongst the employees. It's like the employees built the company. No, they didn't. No, they did not. Bombero. So we should pay 30 to 40%, but not the corporations. No, I literally just said 2 minutes ago that we shouldn't have a federal income tax. In Florida, there's no state income tax. There should be a tax on purchases and property, tax on your house, tax on your purchases, your car, things that you buy, purchases. But no, a corporation is already being taxed. It's already getting taxed. And then the shareholders are paying tax. And they're paying taxes already. They're already paying tax. The government's stealing more money from the corporations in the form of federal tax. It doesn't help anybody. All that money gets squandered. That's how we have $15 billion to send to Zelensky. What if that money stayed in the corporation? They would hire more people. They would have more innovation. They would have lower price goods. They would buy more plant and equipment. They would invest in R&D and innovation. All that money would go back to the economy. It would be better for all of us for it to not be squandered by establishment bureaucrats. There's the agriculture board and the such and such board and this board and that board and all this squandered money being wasted on nothing. You should not support taxing anybody anymore. There's plenty of effing taxes. The taxes are fine. The problem is bloated government and bloated bureaucracy squandering it on nothing. There's like a desk in the office in these offices in DC. The desk is $40,000 on the taxpayer's dime. The government is not set up like a business. No business would run that way. They just needlessly squander money. And it's set up, the incentive structure of the bureaucracy rewards people that squander money, not people that save money. If you save money and you don't spend your budget, if you don't tap your budget out, then they're like, oh, you have a budget surplus. We're not going to give you any more from the next year's budget. If you squander your whole budget or blow your whole budget, then they're like, oh, they're out of money. They don't have enough. They need to have a higher budget. So the incentive structure of the bureaucracy and the federal government is backwards and the opposite of what it should be in any normal business. There's no incentive, you know? It's like, oh, what if the incentive for you to get your stimmy check was you went back to work? What if instead of getting an unemployment check that was astronomical, what if you got a higher unemployment check if you went back to work? What if they flipped it the other direction? They don't understand incentive because a lot of the bureaucrats never had a real job. They never ran a business. They don't understand economics and business. All these people sign the back of a paycheck, not the front of a paycheck, so they don't understand business. AOC never owned a business. AOC never ran a business. AOC doesn't understand the first thing about finance or business or credit or nothing. She doesn't know anything about anything related to finance. She never ran a business, yet they've simultaneously convinced people that ran businesses, big, bad corporate people, those people don't know. The people that ran the businesses, that ran things like a business, they were only able to succeed if they produced results in business. For you to succeed in the bureaucracy, all you have to do is tickle everybody's balls. All you have to do is be an establishment shield that gets anointed by the previous people that say that you are willing to toe the line. You're willing to sell your soul to get votes, to make false promises that nobody will hold you accountable for. To succeed in business, you have to produce and output value consistently forever. You have to work your whole life to build a reputation where you provide product and services to people that choose with their own free will to buy them from you, to part with their hard-earned cash to get what you have, because they believe that this $20 is not worth as much as the quality of life that's increased as a result of me giving you the $20. Alansis says, why aren't you a millionaire? Are you wealthy? I wouldn't say that I'm wealthy. I'm not a millionaire either. Name a millionaire that started with nothing. 85% of millionaires started with nothing. Go look it up. Look up how many people inherited their wealth. This is a common misconception of people that live in their parents' basement. Most millionaires and billionaires in this world are self-made. Like, do some research, dude. Name one. Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is a billionaire. He inherited nothing. What do you mean, name one? What planet are you on, bro? Name one. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Damon John, Mark Cuban, Barbara Corcoran. There's three. Congratulations. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, defend it. I don't have to defend it. It's common knowledge. Give it a gaggle, For Christmas' sake. Where is John Kerry? John's on his ketchup torpedo. John's on his plane. He's flying around on his Heinz torpedo. Capitalism has created more millionaires than any economic system. Capitalism has created more human prosperity than any other system in the history of time. Capitalism is largely responsible for all the things in the world that are good. A high quality and high standard of life is unanimously linked to capitalism. Capitalism is not a system that was created by people in some laboratory somewhere, that was created around a boardroom. Capitalism is a system that was created based on itself. People bought and sold goods, and the system had a name because that's the thing that worked. They're like, this is capitalism. The buyers and sellers determine the success of the business. The free market dictates who wins and who loses. That's it. That's capitalism. They created a label for something that already created itself out of nothing. Socialism, communism, all those things were developed by people intentionally. I'm going to do this, and then this will happen. Capitalism is the one that created itself out of thin air. Like, hello. Are we all residing on the Earth's crust, or what are we doing? A better question is, how many millionaires are there in Congress and how many were millionaires before they got there? That's a great question. Very few. The answer is very, very few. Barack Obama was a quote-unquote community organizer, and now he has an $8 million vacation home in Martha's Vineyard. What does that tell you? Not all millionaires are famous either. Of course they're not. There's millionaires on my street. People, this is the thing, is that I actually appreciate the people that are on TikTok and the people that make comments that you can tell that they clearly don't understand, because they are here. And even though they're trolling and they're venting their internal frustration about their lack of progress in life or how they weren't able to succeed in the way that they thought right now, they're still here. They're still consuming this information, which means that they can be converted. And if they're just here to troll, if they're just here to spread some hate because that's what they want to do with their time, then there was no chance of converting them to begin with. If this is how you choose to spend your time, you got a loser mentality. You got a small thinking mentality. You're living in a place of scarcity and not abundance. So for the people that are here, that are mad in the comments because they don't understand, thank you for listening and thanks for being a part of it. But if you consume a little bit more of my content and you listen to people like Peter Schiff and you listen to economic podcasts and listen to people like Ron Paul and follow and understand Keynesian economics and read books about the economy, you'll become better versed and you'll be able to attract more money to you. If you understand the principles of business, which is I am enriched by how many people I can help and how valuable of help I can provide them, you'll live a prosperous life. You'll be healthier, you'll be smarter, you'll have a bigger home, you'll have a nicer car, you'll be more safe and insulated in the case of a downturn in the market, you'll be better insulated and protected for life, you'll be more free. You'll have more freedom of time, you'll have more freedom of mind. And a lot of things will be resolved by you simply understanding money. So be angry if you want, but you know that you want to find the truth or you wouldn't be here. All right, y'all. I'm almost at 30,000 likes on TikTok. It's 10 o'clock. I've been here for over 2 hours. Thank you so much for the stream. I really appreciate it. If you're on Instagram, you don't already follow me, hit the arrow. If you're on TikTok and you don't already follow me, click wherever the thing is for follow. Please follow me on TikTok. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure that you go on immediately after the show. Please do me a favor. Go to BobbySauceShow.com and make sure that you leave a review on the podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, wherever you go. Please make sure that you leave a review. I would really appreciate that so much. If you like the channel, if you appreciate what happened here, please consider going on patreon.com/takenaps or making a donation in the tip jar on Venmo or Cash App at Take Naps, or just go to bobbysauce.com and grab some merch. I would really appreciate that. If you can't do any of those things, I appreciate your time. Make sure that you share some of my content to your Instagram story, your Facebook story. Tell other people about it. Please spread the word if you like what you heard here. Thanks to everybody that sent in Venmos, Cash Apps. Thanks for all the people that donated on Instagram, on badges. Thank you guys so much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats on YouTube. Thanks for the Venmo donations. Thanks for all the follows. If you're on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, make sure you follow me. Make sure you leave a review. BobbySauceShow.com. Follow Bobby.com to follow me on all the other platforms, and BobbySauce.com to support the channel. Thank you so much for this episode. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Instagram, thank you for being here. Facebook, YouTube, thanks so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. TikTok, thanks for being here. Peace out. Thanks again. Adios. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, thank you so much.